All right, we are doing chair today with the lovely Josie. She's gonna honor her body, so are you. We are starting on 2 twos on the Balanced Body Exo chair. If you have maybe just 3 spring settings, it's gonna be 2 on the middle setting. So 2 springs on, let's get set up for footwork. So have a seat on your chair, either in the center or maybe closer to the edge here. All 10 toes are on. And then let's just have the hands behind you. Think like chest expansion and your shoulders are rolling open. You're stacked up tall equally on your hips. And then press those heels together, wrap the toes around, and then just pull the pedal into you and then press it down. Just gonna stare at each other here. Pull it in. So think of these pumps as like a hamstring curl, right? You're trying to close the springs at the top. It's also like your stomach massage. Crown of the head just stays on the ceiling. We've got 3. Exhale up, 2. Exhale up, last 1. All right, so I lie. Float the pedal up 1 last time. Come onto your arches, hip socket distance apart. Equally reach the toes and heels around the foot bar. You know what I mean, pedal, and then press the pedal down and then pull it into you. So imagine you've got this blue squishy ball between your thighs, so there's a hug in. And those arms are just reaching down and back. Let's do 3 and 2 and the last one. Pull the pedal up and now come onto your heels. Interlace the webbing of your fingers. Hands go behind the base of your skull. So traction the head up and into the hands. Elbows push back. Make sure there's space between ears and shoulders. Feet are flexed. You press the pedal away and then pull it into you. Inhale away. Exhale, pull it in. Imagine the back body is just stacked up against a wall. And you're constantly trying to go up, up, up that wall. Let's do 3 and 2 and last one here. Now press the pedal down about halfway. I want you to straighten your right leg out in front of you and now turn the leg out. Let's pump the pedal here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the pedal still, foot comes down, left leg goes straight out. Turn that leg out. We pump the pedal. Equal weight down into those hips. We got 3 and 2 and 1. Foot comes down. Now let's come onto the arches, all right? So right leg goes straight out. Now let's keep that leg parallel. We pump the pedal here for 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the pedal still. We switch. Remember, it's a hamstring curl. Make that left leg long. And hold it stiller than mine for 3 and 2 and 1. Good, steady the pedal. Good, now let's come onto the toes. And now if you need, hands can go onto your thighs for some feedback. Otherwise, right, I'm gonna keep my hands here. So thighs stay still. I want you to flex your feet, push your heels down, and then point your toes. Yep, so pedal moves, thighs stay still. And think of there being like magnets between your inner ankle bones. Let's do 3. Go full range, 2. And last one. Oh, okie dokie. So let's now take your hands down to the front edge of the mat here or the chair. Press the pedal all the way down. Let's go heels together, toes apart. So we're not going to do tendon stretch. We're just going to do kind of a prep for it. So push down into those arms and just straighten the legs, dive the head forward. Feel this opposition from your hands, the base of your ribs pulling kind of in and away. And then from here, I want you to bend into the knees. Roll your pelvis through your arms, drive your hips forward, and now we're in our tabletop. Just find a chest opening here. And now nod your chin, roll yourself through the arms, push the hips back, and straighten the legs and round your spine. Curl the tailbone under, knees bend, roll the hips through, drive that pubic bone up, puff up that chest, and just like your up stretch, nod your chin, sternum down, ribs down, resist the pelvis, right? It's the last thing to come through. And then last one here, knees bend, get a stretch somewhere, push into those arms, nod the chin, roll yourself all the way through and up. Go ahead and have a seat. Float the pedal up. Now for 100, we're going to do it on top of the chair. If you need neck support, you're more than welcome to come down to the mat. You good? Okay. All right. So starting at the very edge, you're going to lie back. Knees come into your chest. So you're going to grab onto the back of the legs. Head, neck, and shoulders are curled up. Think of your arms being in this shave or rowing position. Straighten the legs out. And now squeeze your legs together. Press the legs down into your hands. And then drag the knees back in. Last one. Press the legs out. Can you hold this angle? Let go of your legs. Start pumping for your 100. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Think of those legs still pressing into your hands, and the arms are reaching from your back. Inhale and exhale. Fingertips forward, belly pulling back. Can you pump those arms a little bit faster? Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it all the way in. Lower the head down if that feels okay. And let's go ahead and just rock and roll yourself all the way up. All right, so we're going to stay on these two springs. Come and face your pedal. So you're going to be maybe a couple inches away from the base. Please feel free to adjust that. So let's take your hands just onto your hips and then shift your weight into your left foot. Bring your right leg kind of up into a tabletop position and just pause. We're not on the pedal just yet. We're just finding balance. And then place the foot down. Shift the weight over to the right foot. Left knee comes up. And then place the foot down. All right. Right leg comes up. Now I want you to grab onto the shin, just like your single leg stretch. I want you to give it a good pull in as your left leg gets straighter. Now from here, place your right toes onto the pedal. And you have an option. Hands can be on your hips. They can be out to the side or even behind your head. Lots of options. Now, from here, I want you to press the pedal all the way down. Your right heel stays high. Now make sure there's equal weight into both legs right now. From here, you float the pedal up and then press it down. So once again, think of this being like a hamstring curl, or almost like you're pulling the pedal into you the whole time. You'll need this for our going up front, our mountain climbers that we do later. So let's do 2. And the last one, press the pedal all the way down. Feel that right hip draw down to your left inner thigh even more. And then from here, pedal stays still, lower your right heel down, and then lift it up. And when you're here, you're trying not to let the hips shift back so the tailbone stays long. You got 3. And 2, keep that head-to-hand connection. Last one. Now keep the pedal down but the heel lifted. Shave the arms up to the sky. Nod your chin, round up and over. Just take your hands to the edge of the chair here. All right, so from here, lift the spine and the ribs off of that thigh. From here, lift the pedal up and then press the pedal down. Lift the pedal up and then press it down. So use the resistance to get deeper into this rounded shape, but also feel your stomach, right? Because it is constantly pulling in and up away from that thigh. Neck is still long. We have 3 and 2 and 1. Now can you keep the pedal down, reach the arms forward, and then just stack your spine all the way up. Arms, they just open out to the side. Pedal floats up. Take the foot off ever so gracefully and place the foot down. All right, other side here. So we lift the left knee up, grab onto that shin, pull it in as you press down through that right foot, and then take the left toes onto the pedal. You pick the arm position on this side, and then go ahead and press the pedal all the way down. Just feel that you're square, you're growing tall out through the crown of the head. And then from here, pedal lifts up and down. Again, it should constantly feel like you're pulling that pedal into you. And there's equal weight across the balls of your feet. Shoulders are sliding down away from the ears. We have 3 and 2 and 1. Now you keep the pedal down. You lower that heel down and lift it up. So pedal stays super glued to that base. Feel as though the base of your shin bone is just sliding back away from the top of your foot. That might give you a little bit more range. We have 3. I heard that pedal. And 2 and 1. Now keep the heel high, shave the arms up to the sky, nod your chin, round up and over. Now, before we lift the pedal up, I want you to feel like you're pushing into the chair, but also hugging the chair in like you would a magic circle. Now pump the pedal up and then press the pedal away. And then maybe try and exhale as that pedal comes up, as the knee comes in. Might feel your stomach kick on a little bit more. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Now keep the pedal down. Step your right foot up onto the pedal. Heels together, toes apart. Walk your hands to the back edge of the pedal here. Let your head drop and round your spine. We're gonna do a little heel drop before we do our full pull-up. So feel that your tailbone is chasing down towards your heels. Your weight or your shoulders are over your hands. Push your heels down and away, and then lift them up. So as you lower and lift, it should feel like your tailbone again is reaching down to your heels, and your pubic bone is curling towards your navel. Your neck is still long. Let's do 2 and 1. Now hold the heels lifted. Feel the sternum pull away from your hands and round through the ribs a little bit more. From here, could you float the pedal up, 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 and then lower the pedal down? Ooh, my feet are slippery today. Push down through the arms, lift the pedal up, 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 and then resist as you come all the way down. So can you keep the protraction of your shoulder blades as your hips raise and lower? So that means the shoulder blades stay pulling apart. If you got 2 more, let's do them. Last one, and then come all the way down. Separate your heels and just give yourself a little prance. It's time for the glasses to come off. All right, so now I want you to step your right foot back down to the floor. Walk your hands back to the front edge of your chair. Lift your left heel up high. Pedal stays down. Reach your arms forward, and then roll yourself all the way up, up, up. Arms come down to the side, float the pedal all the way up, and then carefully take that foot off, and then step it down. All right, so we've just moved our chairs just so you can better see us, but we're gonna switch to 1 on the number 3. So for the 4 spring settings, it's 1 from the top. If you only have 3 spring settings, it's just gonna be 1 in the middle. So we're gonna do Swan from the top. We're gonna add in some variations along with the Swan dive. So you're gonna place your pelvis onto the top here, hands go to the pedal. So have your shoulders just a hair in front of your hands, so that way you're working more of a pull in, like chest expansion. If you can, zip your legs up together, and now just hover the pedal off the floor and just pause. All right, think of yourself as just doing a plank. You're pulling that pedal in so your collarbones roll open, and you're lifting the base of your ribs up away from the floor. So we're not quite into extension just yet. Legs are zipped up, your pubic bone is pressing down into the mat. Now nothing else is gonna change, but your elbows are gonna bend to lift the pedal up, and then press the pedal away. Feel that the elbows reach back towards your hips and away. And each time the elbows bend, I want you to really think of pulling that pedal into you as your heart goes forward. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Now the arms stay straight, legs stay stable. Lift the pedal up, roll your chest open, and then lengthen back down. Lift the pedal up, legs stay glued if they can, and then back out. Last one like this, and then back out. Okay, I lie. We'll do a combo. We're gonna do our dive. So get your pelvis set up to where you can do your dive forward. You're not gonna hit the reformer, are you? You good? All right. So go ahead and lift the pedal up. And now before you dive down, lift the legs up first. Then you dive down. Bend the elbows. Feel like you're sliding the pedal across the floor. Legs are lifted up high behind you. Now reach the heart forward more to initiate that lift up. Pedal's gonna lift up, up, up. Tailbone stays long. Lift the legs up first to initiate the dive forward. And then when you're ready, come all the way back up, up, up. Last one here. Lift the legs first. Dive the chest forward. Legs reach up and back. And then come all the way up, up, up. All right. I got to resituate myself back a little bit. I always slide forward. So find yourself where your shoulders are just in front of your hands again, and then float the pedal up just a little bit. So you're finding your plank here. Now, I want you to take your right arm out to the side, like a letter T, and I want you to try your best to get your legs and your pelvis square right now. So right now my legs are really shifting off to the left. You're gonna hold here for 2, and 1, right arm comes down, left arm out to the side. So can you get both hips and your pubic bone pressing down into the mat equally? Still working the pull of the pedal in. You have 3 and 2 and 1. Take the arm down and then just float the pedal up. And then just shift the hips back. All right. So now for this next one, we're going to drop it down to a number 2. If you have the 3 spring settings, you'll probably want to go down to the number 1. And we're going to do kind of a play on single leg stretch, or our series of 5 and rolling back. All right. So you're going to have a seat on the edge of your chair. Tailbone is going to feel like it's completely off. Okay. In fact, it will be. So from here, reach back, find your pedal. All right. And let's go fingertips facing away. And then bring your knees into your chest and just press the pedal down and roll your pelvis under. So you're trying to get your low back into the mat if you can. And if it feels better to have a soft bend to the elbows, please do so. And then all I want you to do is just deepen the knee pull into your chest, but maybe you rock up a little bit. All right. And then rock yourself back by pulling the knees in towards your nose. And then chest lifts up to come up. So legs are zipped up, heels are pulling into your seat, just like you're rolling like a ball. And then back up. Now I want you to roll back where you feel supported by the pedal, but also lots of work. All right, keep the base of the ribs drawing down and your chest open. Can you pull your right knee in closer as your left leg shoots out long? Take these slow as you want, and then switch legs. Now, while those legs are moving, can you keep the pedal still? For me, that is a hard no. It is moving all over the place. Let's do 3. Pull that knee in. And 2. And 1. Now pull both knees in. Can you shoot both legs out long to wherever you can? And then bend the knees all the way in, in. Again, legs stretch out. And then exhale, pull the knees in as you pull the pedal in towards the chair. Inhale out. Exhale, pull in, in. This is your last one here. Stretch the legs out long. Now, can you scissor the legs? Notice my scissors are very small today. And can you get the legs straighter and the toes reaching further across the room? We got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and rock and roll yourself all the way up. All right, let's come down to the mat. All right, so we're gonna do our kneeling mermaid or our kneeling side bend. So I'm gonna start with the pedal to my left. We just have the chairs at different places so you can see from different angles. We're still on that number 2 for us.
Do we face you or face away?
Yeah, I guess have your pedal to your left. Yeah. So let's just start with your legs zipped up together, shins are pressing down, and I just want you to give yourself a tester. So pull the pedal into and then just side bend up and over. And just know if you're you'll know if you're too close or too far away. So for me, I need to scoot out a little bit. All right, so hands should be on the pedal in line with your knees and your thighs. Opposite arm comes up to the ceiling. Feel your pubic bone go forward, but your ribs kind of soften into your back. Pull the pedal into you as you side bend up and over, and then hold here in your side bend. As you push the pedal down, feel your ribs lift up away from your hand. And can you press that outside shin into the floor a little bit more? And then you stack your spine all the way up, getting taller at the top. Let's do that again. You pull the pedal into you, squeeze those thigh bones together. Neck stays long. And then come all the way up, up, up. Again, pedal comes in, up and over. And now can you find that head to hand connection here a little bit more, and then stack it all the way up. All right, we'll do the other side. All right, so legs are zipped up. Again, tailbone is long, pubic bone goes forward, left arm up to the ceiling. Pull the pedal into you as you go up and over. Now, can you create more space between your right arm and your right, I guess, rib cage? And then stack it all the way back up. Good, again, 2 more times here. Length out through the crown of your head, down through your shins, and then all the way up. I love this one. I get such a nice stretch here with the kneeling. Press down through that outside shin. Keep driving your pubic bone forward. And then carefully, slowly, with control, stack it all the way back up. All right, so we're gonna change springs again. So if you haven't done your hamstring curls in a while, maybe just go 1 spring at the top. If you're feeling beast mode today, I would say 2 springs on the bottom. All right, so I'm gonna go 1 on the top today. Feeling like I need some relief. So that's 1 spring on the number 4 for the balanced body. So you're gonna lie down on your back. And then just like we did with the mer person, place your arches on as best you can. Some pedals are more forgiving than others, and your hip socket distance apart. Just pull the pedal down and into you, and just, again, you'll know if you're too close or too far away. Okay, so once you've got yourself situated, arms, weight them down into the mat. Feel your big toes reach up and over the pedal. Tailbone stays heavy, you're in your natural neutral. Now keep that as you pull the pedal into you and press it down and hold it down. Reach your big toes towards your that wooden base or whatever place you have there, and then slowly resist the pedal all the way back up. Chest is open, palms are pressing down. And as you do these pulls, the tailbone stays long and into the mat. Inner thighs stay connected. Now pull the pedal all the way down. Get your arches fully on the pedal. So your big toes, if they can connect to whatever base you have there, connect them there. And then from here, start to curl the pelvis under, roll the hips up into your bridge. Make sure there's space between chin and chest, and think of there being more weight into your feet than your upper body right now. So there is a major pull of your seat to your feet. And now pedal's gonna stay down as you lengthen the spine all the way down. Roll down, roll down. Now fully release the tailbone at the bottom, keeping the pedal down, and then roll your hips back up. Feel those knees reach up and over the chair, and then round into your spine to roll all the way down. Remember to find that neutral low back at the bottom, and then the tailbone curls under. I heard your pedal, mine did too. It wants to lift up at the bottom. Last one here. Can you keep those upper arm bones into the mat for this last roll down? Okay, float the pedal all the way up. Now the pedal's gonna stay up. For some chairs like this one, you have to come more onto your heels. So once again, pedal stays up, and then from here, just go ahead and roll the hips all the way up. Hips come all the way up, and then lengthen as you come all the way down. So we'll just do a couple bridges here with the pedal up and stable. Remember that tailbone is the last thing to hit. All right, next time your hips are up, we're gonna stay there. Pelvis stays high or pubic bone stays high. I want you to pull that pedal into you and then float the pedal up. You pull the pedal into you and then up. Make sure those big toes are reaching up and over the pedal. Mine were just trying to flare out. You got 2 and 1. Now, can you keep your hips up as you pull the pedal all the way down? It's okay if it slams, find it, go all the way down. There you go. And then lengthen your spine all the way down with the pedal down. Yep, once your tailbone hits, float the pedal up and then roll the hips all the way up with the pedal up. And now pull the pedal all the way into you, go all the way down to the floor. Yep. And then lengthen as you roll all the way down. Tailbone hits, float the pedal all the way up. This is your last one here. Roll the hips up. Pull the pedal into you, make it smooth as you can, going all the way down to the bottom. And then lengthen your spine all the way down. Now we're gonna do that in reverse. So pedal stays down, roll your hips all the way up. I want you to feel now that your weight kind of shifts back into your upper body. Can you float the pedal up? We haven't done this in a while. Yep, there you go, there you go. Pedal goes up and then roll your spine all the way down. All right, tailbone is down, pull the pedal all the way down, roll the hips all the way up, and then reach the toes away as the pedal comes all the way up. I'm out of practice with this one. And then roll your spine all the way down. Did you feel your hamstrings on that one? Oh yeah. All right, so straighten your legs where like your ankles or heels are now on the pedal or top of the chair. And find the little Pilates V. Reach the arms up and now back behind you. And then pick the arms up to the ceiling, take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, you're gonna roll yourself all the way up, up, up. And now I want you to position yourself to where your ankles are now more at the top of your chair, and you're about a straight arm's distance away from the pedal. So do your best here. I know the pedal rubs the legs a lot, so find this tall lifted spine. Legs are as straight as you can get them. And now from here, I want you to press the pedal down with those rowing arms and then float the pedal up. You press the pedal kind of down and into you to lift up taller and then back up. Last one here, you press to lift and back up. And now as you press down, can you float your right leg up and then lower it down? Press it down, lift the left leg up and down. Now the challenge, we're just gonna alternate, is you're trying not to lean back into that press. You're just trying to get taller. One more on each side. Now if you're feeling froggy, as you press down, maybe both legs lift and they lower as the pedal comes up. Both legs lift and down. 2 more, because we got to even ourselves out. Length out through the crown of the head. Yeah. Okay, felt some work there? All right. I don't know what, oh, that's right. So now, I'll have to edit this. Teaser, that's what I thought. Oh, it's Swan from the bottom. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. We'll change it one more time. All right, so we're gonna change our spring again to a number 2. Or your middle, maybe your middle or your lowest one. We're gonna do Swan from the bottom. So you're gonna take your pedal with you. You're gonna come all the way down to the mat. So the pedal is about a straight arm's distance away, or you're about a straight arm's distance away from the pedal in this mid position. Forehead comes down into the mat. Zip the legs up together, drive your pubic bone down towards the floor, and now just allow the pedal to lift or pull the shoulders into the ears. And now find depression, shoulder blades glide down the back, pedal moves a little bit. And now find elevation, and then depression. And as you're doing just this little lower and lift, think of that pulling of the pedal apart. So you're creating space in your back. Last one here. Now as the shoulders glide down the back, you're gonna press the pedal down to lift the chest, reaching the heart forward. Pedal can go all the way down to the floor. It's totally up to you. And now as you lengthen back down, the pedal is gonna rise up. Allow for that elevation again. And then depression, pull the pedal apart, pedal comes down, heart reaches forward. So you're really tractioning your spine forward, and then lengthen back down, pedal comes up. Last one here. Tailbone reaches away. I think this feels so good. And then lengthen as you come all the way down. Carefully glide the pedal all the way up if you can fully release it. And now you're gonna come lying on your back for a little rollover. So make sure that your head is not on your base there, but it's like right there up against. And then just make sure that for rollover, right, the weight goes into your shoulders, not your neck. So before we even get to there, I want you to grab onto the pedal, and then let's go fingertips facing in, so you're kind of grabbing on the sides of the pedal. Your knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Keep your ribs down, and now just pull the pedal in towards you as the elbows go super wide, and then float the pedal back up. So just know the goal of this move isn't necessarily the pedal to the floor. It's more just to find that arm connection to the back, and also to get a feel for the spring tension. It's your shave, it's your row. Let's do 2. And last one. Okay, so now from here I want you to find maybe a pull of like half that much. So that way pedal stays relatively still, your arms stay engaged. Bring your knees into your chest, squeeze the legs together. Now straighten the legs up to the ceiling, lower the legs down to your working angle, and then float the legs up and over for your rollover shape. Pause here. I want you to kind of press your toes down to maybe try to lift the hips up higher. And then from here, open the legs a little bit, flex your feet, and then roll your spine all the way down. Lengthening, 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 lengthening. Tailbone hits, legs lower down, legs zipped up together, toes go up and over. Make sure you're pulling that pedal apart to keep space in your neck. Open the legs a little bit, flex your feet, push the heels away as your tailbone goes in the opposite direction. Legs lower down, zip up, point out through the toes, legs go up and over. Now, hold here with the legs zipped up and the toes pointed. Shift your legs over to the right and then over to the left. So, can you keep everything else stable as the legs just kind of windshield wiper over to the side? Now, I want you to go over to the right side. You're gonna roll down your right side, and then lower the legs down. They circle around to the left corner of your mat. Legs go up and over the left side, and then square yourself off. A little corkscrew over to the left. Lengthen as you roll down. Sweep the legs down and around, up the right, and then find center. Last one here. Roll the hips away. Legs circle around the left corner of the mat. Go up your left side and to center. Check in with your neck. You roll down that left side. Circle the legs down and around, up your right side. And now find center. From here, option to jackknife the legs up to the ceiling. Keep your jackknife as you roll all the way down, down, down. Hips hit, legs lower all the way down to the floor. And then carefully release the pedal. Reach the arms up to the sky, flex your feet. Take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, you're gonna lift the weight of your head up and then roll yourself all the way up, up, up. Stack your spine up tall, and now we're gonna come back to standing. But we're gonna come back to 1 on the number 3. So I believe we were on a number 2, we're coming up to number 3, or we're just 1 in the middle for some side bends. So you're gonna come onto your left hip, left hand comes onto the pedal, you're gonna press it all the way down, or down if you're on those really tall chairs. Zip the legs up together, and then top hand, you place it wherever. So feel this long line of energy out through your toes and out through the crown of your head. Your chest is open, and if you can, you're just gonna hover that pedal up just 1 to 2 inches, depending on the chair that you're on, and feel your bottom leg lift up into your top leg, and your top leg reach further away. So think of making it longer than your bottom leg. And then from here, holding everything else stable, just float your top leg up a little bit, and now sweep it forward, and then sweep it back. So it's your side kicks from the mat or all the other places that we do it. Hips stay stacked. And as that leg goes back, maybe you find a little bit more seat connection as you try to go into hip extension, right? We have 2. And last one, zip the legs up together. And now from here, float that top leg up and then lower it down. Make sure you're working that length out through the crown of the head and maybe even a head to hand connection, even if your hand is not there. Trace those toes along that imaginary wall. You have 3 and 2 and 1. Zip the legs up together. Now with a bottom straight arm, float the pedal all the way up or wherever you can, and then lengthen as you come back out. You pull that pedal into you as you go up and over your waistband, and then lengthen back out. Little extra challenge is just thinking of the legs, maybe even lifting up a hair as you go into your side bend. You have 2. And last one, come all the way out. Take your top leg, reach it back. Bottom leg goes forward. So we split the legs. Top hand, take it down to the pedal. If you can, the arms are going to try to go straight. Your chest squares off to the floor. Inhale as you float the pedal up. And then exhale, press the pedal away. So it's a twist with extension. Work that pull apart of the pedal. Last one here, reach that heart forward and then lengthen all the way out. All right, left hand comes to the pedal, untwist yourself and then side bend yourself all the way up, and let's do the other side. Right hip down, press the pedal down, zip the legs up together. So find your long line. Ribs are not sagging down into the floor. Float that pedal up just maybe 1 to 2 inches. Bottom leg lifts up into your top leg, right? Just checking all these boxes. Top leg, it lifts up, goes forward and back. Remember, it's not always about what's moving, it's what's not moving. Keep trying to pull that pedal into you. Use that top hand for stability if you need. Let's do 2. And last one, bring that leg back in line with your top leg. Trace the toes up the wall and down the wall. Make sure that top hip stays stacked over the bottom hip. Let's do 3. Can you make that top leg a little bit longer? 2. And last one, comes down. We split the legs, top leg goes back, bottom leg goes forward. Take both hands down to the pedal if you're able to, and then float the pedal up on that inhale. And then exhale, press it away. Strong legs, inhale up, and then exhale back down. Inhale, expand the ribs, lengthen the spine, and exhale back out. One more here. Pull that pedal apart and in, and then all the way back down. Right hand comes down to the center, top arm sweeps up, and then carefully come all the way up. All right, so we're gonna come back to our 2 on the middle spring, or for us, it's gonna be 2 on the 2s. We're gonna do some mountain climbers and then going up front. We'll alternate, so we'll do mountain climbers, then we'll do going up front. So let's first place your right toes onto the pedal. Go ahead and press it down. And then hands can either come down or they can stay up. Step your left foot up. Take those spider fingers down to the ends of your chair. Lift your back heel up high and round and lift your ribs off of your left thigh. From here, can you keep equal weight into both feet? You're gonna pull that pedal into you or your knee into you and then press it away.
So this is your single leg stretch. It's your knee stretches. Now, if it's available, you're gonna keep pumping the pedal, but just start to reach your arms forward. And then maybe you stack your spine all the way up to this flat back. Keep pumping, keep pumping. At the top here for 2 and 1. Keep pumping as you round up and over that thigh. Round down, lengthen. Hands come down for 3, 2, and 1. Pedal goes down, and then switch legs. Make sure you're in this hip socket distance apart here. Tripod connection down through that right foot. Round and lift into the spine. Pull that pedal in and back. So we did this earlier standing. Can you find that same connection here? And it's only when and if you're ready, arms can start to reach forward. And stacking up. Hold at the top for 2 and 1. Keep pumping as you round up and over. Lift the ribs as you round down. You got 3 and 2 and 1. Press the pedal down. Step your foot down. Left foot comes up. All right, you pick what you want to do with your arms today. You're gonna rise up into this flat back, left hip, draw it down to your right inner thigh, and feel like you're pulling the legs in like a pair of scissors, all right? Back leg stays straight. You're gonna rise up when you're ready, and then you get longer as you come all the way down. Feel like you're pulling that pedal in towards the chair. Only got 4. And 3. Work that left seat to heel connection. And 2. And then the last one here. Come all the way down. And then carefully switch legs. I'm gonna try to use less words on this side. Let's get it done. All right. Back leg straight, back heel lifted. Rise up when you're ready. You're trying to keep this upright posture as opposed to leaning forward. So remember, there's equal weight between front and back leg. Let's do 3 and 2. Last one, finish strong. Come all the way down. Hands come down. Foot comes down. Give yourself just a quick prance. All right. Carefully step off. We're going to stay on the heavy springs. You're going to come kneeling on top of your chair. Just be careful with these. Know that the range is going to be a lot smaller. So kneecaps are still on. I'm going to try to catch my breath here. Knees are hip socket distance apart. So press down through whatever shin can connect to the top of the chair. Reach your arms forward, pubic bone goes forward, and then with a strong straight arm, press the arms down and back. Open up the chest, turn your head to the right, turn your head to the left, turn your head to center, and then slowly release the arms. Again, pull the arms down and back, turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right, turn your head to center, and then slowly release the arms. 2 more like this. Pull the arms down and back. Think of them reaching back to your ankles. And then maybe you lift up a little bit higher and then hug the thigh bones together a little bit more. Turn your head to the right. Turn your head to the left. And then turn center. Arms reach forward. On this last one, think of almost pitching forward just a bit. Turn your head to the left. And then to the right. And then center, and then slowly release the arms. Now arms stay out in front of you. You keep all those other things that we talked about, but I want you to nod the chin and then just look down at your pedal, something down there. So like you're coming into an ab curl. Pubic bone is still going forward, but the ribs are pulling back. Now from here, you're gonna lean back into your thigh stretch, and then you go forward. You lean back, and then forward. One more like that. Pull those lower ribs back and then come all the way up. Now stack your spine up tall to a more of a flat back. And now lean back here. Find those inner thighs and then come back up. Inhale as you go back. Pubic bone goes forward and then exhale up. Last one here. And then up. Now reach the arms up to the sky. Take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, nod your chin, round up and over. Take your hands to the pedal and just hold here. Remember, you're on a nice, heavy, supportive spring. Round into your spine, and then press the pedal down, leaning forward. There's gonna come a place where you feel like you wanna go more flat back, maybe even arched back. Do it if it feels good. Press down into those shins to roll your pelvis under to round your spine, and then just kind of rock yourself back, like hips towards your feet. And then lean forward. Pass through that long line if that feels good. Pull that pedal apart. And then exhale, curl the tailbone under, lean the hips back. Pull the ribs away from your hands. Last one here. Lean the hips forward. Stick your booty out, reach the heart forward. And then exhale, pull the belly and the ribs up and in. Rock yourself back. Reach the arms forward, and then just stack your spine all the way up. Arms reach up and overhead, and then out to the side. And you are done. Nice.